New developments tonight in the wake of an exclusive 5 on Your Side investigation.
Federal prosecutors are filing criminal charges against the man at the center of a nationwide fraud scheme. 5 on Your Side Chief Investigator Ron Regan joins us live from the newsroom. And Ron, your investigation first revealed allegations that led to the charges today.
Well, federal prosecutors have charged Christopher Harden with ripping off churches, daycare centers, and others who paid for playground systems they never got, including nearly $16,000 for a playground for children at the Domestic Violence Center right here in Cleveland. From churches to daycares to nonprofits, our investigation has uncovered victims across the country alleging theft, fraud, and deceit. Complaints triggering a federal investigation into this man and how he's harmed those who can least afford it, including this camp for the disabled. Police reports show it paid $2,500 down for soft tiles that were never delivered. And many customers saw this video online. American Safety Surface claims it's a leader in playground safety nationwide. Instead, customers tell a very different story. Like this church in Utah. It turned over $6,500 for a preschool playground it never received. 6 months later and across the country, it happened again.
We found Chris Harden and American Safety Surface.
This time, a nursery school on Long Island. $28,000 for a playground it never got.
We got nothing. He never came back.
Chris Harden never came back.
And it just was one excuse after another. And at one point, I had said to him, I hope that you're not on a beach somewhere with our money.
Company records show Harden's the founder.
It may be the demise of our school that, like Julie said, has been around for over 60 years.
The very same month, Harden struck another deal. This time, a family-owned sports center north of New York City.
We signed his contract and we gave him a deposit of over $28,000.
$28,000 for work that was never done.
It was a real hardship for us. We're a family-owned small business.
A hardship for them and plenty of others. Our investigation found more than a dozen customers across the country who say they were ripped off. From Maryland, where a swim club and day camp paid $5,000 for a splash pad surface that was deteriorating just months after installation, to Iowa,
never got my rubber decking for around my pool,
where a family paid $2,000 for a deck surface it never got.
And I think it's a huge injustice to the public that this gentleman still continues to be able to do that to people.
To Nebraska, where another church lost $21,000. And on to South Carolina, where Harden failed to pay for materials and supplies.
Between the checks that bounced and the shipments that went out very quickly, he left us holding the bag for about $400,000.
Another supplier near Buffalo filed this lawsuit, won a $45,000 judgment, but never got paid. And despite being arrested in West Virginia 3 years ago, where he pled guilty to obtaining money under false pretense.
I was planning to pay them back as soon as I got back on my feet.
And a year later sentenced to 120 days in jail for attempted theft back home in Geauga County. Harden remains in business, living in this secluded home in a Cleveland suburb, while a trail of former customers are left behind.
He'll try anything.
But when we tried to speak with him,
I have a couple of questions about your business practices, if I can talk to you.
That's all right.
Are you aware that there's an FBI investigation into you? You are? And can you explain this, Chris? Chris, have you ever ripped anybody off? Well, this is your mugshot.
He drove off in a luxury SUV.
There's nothing being done to keep this gentleman from doing it to somebody else. And that was my main concern. I didn't want anybody else to get ripped off like I was.
But after a lengthy investigation, prosecutors now say Harden cheated 15 clients and 2 suppliers
out of more than $700,000. I'm Chief Investigator Ron Regan.